In our everyday life, our homes are often portrayed as our safest sanctuaries, a haven from the terrors and tribulations of the outside world. But what happens when that sanctuary is violated, when the banality of evil seeps into the most intimate and familiar of spaces? That's the question posed by filmmaker Brian Bertino in his 2008 film The Strangers. At its core, The Strangers is something of a masterclass in the art of subverting traditional horror tropes and evoking profound unease in its audience. Released in 2008, the film quickly garnered attention for its unrelenting portrayal of terror within the familiar setting of a home, taking one of our most comforting spaces and turning it into a locale filled with fear, sorrow, and death. By delving into the unsettling concept of the banality of evil and the violation of the sanctity of home, The Strangers ventures into some of the darkest recesses of human fear and vulnerability, leaving an indelible mark on the viewer's psyche. As the film's eerie music swells and the screen fades to black, the haunting impact of The Strangers lingers, serving as a chilling reminder of the fragility of our sense of security within the confines of our own homes. The film's premise is deceptively simple. After attending a wedding, couple James and Kristen return to James' isolated childhood vacation home late at night. Their evening is tense as Kristen has just rejected James' marriage proposal, creating tension between them. As they try to navigate their emotions, a mysterious knock at the door interrupts the silence. A young woman, barely visible in the dim porch light, asks for someone who doesn't live there before disappearing into the night.
See you later.
What begins as an odd but seemingly harmless encounter soon escalates into a night of pure terror. Three masked intruders, the man in the mask, dollface, and pinup girl, begin tormenting the couple, cutting off their escape and slowly infiltrating the home. The strangers toy with them, prolonging their fear through psychological and physical torment rather than launching an immediate attack. Bleak, relentless, and disturbingly plausible, The Strangers taps into primal fears of isolation, vulnerability, and the randomness of violence, making it one of the most unsettling home invasion films in modern horror. Through its interesting approach to storytelling and its unflinching commitment to portraying the horror of a home invasion, The Strangers has solidified its place as a seminal work in the horror genre, influencing subsequent films and leaving its imprint on popular culture. In today's episode of Deep Cuts, we'll delve into the various elements that contribute to the film's lasting legacy, from its historical and philosophical underpinnings to its cinematic techniques and cultural significance. At the heart of the film lies one really simple idea: evil is often banal. The concept of the banality of evil, as elucidated by philosopher Hannah Arendt, holds significant historical and philosophical weight, particularly in its application to literary and cinematic works. Arendt's groundbreaking exploration, notably in her coverage of the trial of Adolf Eichmann, has left an enduring mark on our understanding of evil and its manifestations in seemingly mundane settings. The trial, which took place in Jerusalem in 1961, served as a pivotal moment in the examination of the Holocaust and the role of ordinary individuals in perpetrating acts of great atrocity. Arendt's observations led her to coin the term the banality of evil, a concept that challenged prevailing notions of evil as an inherently sensational or extraordinary force. Instead, Arendt posited that individuals like Eichmann, a high-ranking German official responsible for coordinating the logistics of the Holocaust, were not inherently malevolent, but rather disturbingly ordinary. This notion of ordinariness in the context of extraordinary evil has reverberated through the collective consciousness, mostly as a potent tool for challenging audience perceptions. Literary and cinematic works have frequently drawn upon Arendt's concept to explore the unsettling nature of evil when it emerges from the most unassuming sources. In literature, works like Blood Meridian and We Need to Talk About Kevin have skillfully woven narratives that address the banality of evil, presenting characters whose malevolence arises despite their everyday actions and personas. Similarly, in cinema, films like the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men and Mary Harron's American Psycho have adeptly portrayed the banality of evil through characters whose outward normalcy belies their capacity for heinous acts. The enduring influence of Arendt's concept is evident in its ability to provoke introspection and contemplation regarding the nature of evil and its potential to manifest within quotidian contexts. In the case of The Strangers, the film's utilization of this concept serves to unsettle audiences by portraying its antagonists as unremarkable individuals whose capacity for brutality emerges within the familiar settings of a home. This deliberate subversion of expectations challenges viewers to confront the disquieting notion that evil can lurk within the most commonplace circumstances, a realization that amplifies the film's impact. Speaking of impacts, the fear of home invasion is rooted in our need for security and safety within our personal spaces, and The Strangers effectively exploits this fear to unsettle its audience. The portrayal of home invasions in popular culture amplifies these fears, making it a potent narrative device in horror cinema. For example, films like Inside and the brilliantly terrifying Angst both delve into the psychological impact of home invasion, highlighting the profound sense of vulnerability and fear it evokes in individuals and communities. But you might be wondering how the film presents the idea of the banality of evil and the violation of our safest spaces. The Strangers utilizes a variety of cinematic techniques to immerse the audience in an atmosphere of unease and dread. The film's use of lighting, framing, and set design is instrumental in creating an ominous and foreboding tone. For instance, the strategic placement of shadows and the manipulation of light sources within the home contribute to a pervasive sense of wrongness, effectively heightening the audience's apprehension. The framing of shots, particularly the use of wide angles and claustrophobic close-ups, serves to emphasize the isolation and vulnerability of the protagonist within their own home, intensifying the feeling of impending danger they face. In addition to visual elements, the film's sound design and music play a pivotal role in amplifying this sense of unease. The strategic use of ambient sounds, such as creaking floorboards or the knocks on the door, serve to unsettle the audience by creating an atmosphere of pervasive threat. The film also subverts traditional horror tropes through its deliberate pacing and emphasis on realism. Unlike many horror films that rely on rapid editing and frenetic action to evoke fear, The Strangers adopts a more measured approach, allowing moments of quiet unease to linger and intensify. This deliberate pacing serves to cultivate a sustained sense of dread, effectively immersing the audience in the protagonist's escalating terror. The film's ability to evoke such profound unease is a testament to its skillful utilization of cinematic techniques to create an immersive and unsettling experience for audiences. The title is part of a broader tradition of home invasion narratives in popular culture. Films such as Funny Games and Hush also leverage cinematic techniques to convey the visceral horror of home invasion, each offering a unique perspective on one of our most pervasive fears. But these are not the only reason the film is so effectively unsettling. In The Strangers, the protagonist's responses to the home invasion and the human aspects of both the victims and perpetrators are central to the film's ability to elicit fear and empathy from its audience. The antagonists, known as the Man in the Mask, Dollface, and Pinup Girl, are portrayed as ordinary individuals, engaging in mundane activities that sharply contrast with their violent behavior. This portrayal blurs the lines between the banal and the malevolent, challenging audience expectations and leaving viewers off balance. Specific examples include the way they toy with the victims by knocking on the door and asking for someone who is not there.
Is Tamara here?
No.
Or standing silently in the background, and so on. This all creates a sense of unpredictability. Their lack of clear motivations and the random nature of their attack contribute to the film's ability to elicit fear, as it reflects the unsettling reality that such violence can occur without reason or warning. The antagonist's portrayal as ordinary individuals is a common theme in home invasion films. For example, in Funny Games, the antagonists initially appear unassuming and polite, only to reveal their sadistic nature as the story unfolds. This deliberate juxtaposition of normalcy and malevolence serves to unnerve audiences and reinforces the idea that danger can lurk behind an everyday facade. As for the protagonists, their often stupid and frustratingly passive actions have been criticized. The film's portrayal of the protagonist as vulnerable and unprepared for the home invasion contributes to the sense of realism and helplessness, effectively engaging the audience's empathy and fear. The Strangers effectively portrays its antagonists as ordinary individuals with a propensity for committing evil acts for no other reason than because they can.
Are you a sinner?
Sometimes.
In fact, we see the banality of their evil highlighted in the film's final scenes. Kristen, bloodied, broken, and barely able to speak, asks the masked intruders why they are doing this. And the answer is as chilling as it is empty.
Because you were home.
There's no personal vendetta, no elaborate backstory, no greater meaning, just the sheer randomness of cruelty. It's a moment that strips away the comforting illusion that violence always has a reason, that if you just make the right choices and stay in the right places, you can avoid the worst. From there, we move to the unmasking, a moment that, in any other horror film, might signal some revelation, a cathartic confrontation where the killer's motives or identities hold some grand significance. But here, nothing. Only James and Kristen see the killers, leaving us to imagine what they might look like. It's a moment that robs us of catharsis. And really, that's what makes it truly terrifying. It echoes Hannah Arendt's concept of the banality of evil, the idea that monstrous acts aren't always committed by cackling supervillains, but by people who, disturbingly, see them as just another part of their day. There's no spectacle to their cruelty, no passion, just cold, detached efficiency. By the time the killers leave, they seem almost bored by what they've done. One of the women even reassures her friend.
It'll be easier next time.
This is acting like it's nothing, as if it's normal, and that's what lingers, the realization that, for them, this is now normal. They are, in their way, proof of Arendt's thesis. The evil serves no greater purpose, it's simply evil for evil's sake. The film has had a lasting impact on audience perceptions of safety and security within domestic spaces. Its portrayal of home invasion and the banality of evil has influenced subsequent works in the horror genre, serving as a touchstone for filmmakers seeking to unsettle and challenge their audiences. The enduring legacy of The Strangers speaks to its cultural significance and its ability to redefine traditional horror tropes. Its influence can be seen in other films that explore similar themes, as well as in discussions about the nature of evil and its manifestations in everyday life. Critical reception and scholarly interpretations of The Strangers have underscored its subversion of traditional horror tropes and its profound ability to disturb audiences through its portrayal of home invasion and the banality of evil. The film's realistic and unembellished depiction of a home invasion has been a point of praise, with critics noting its departure from supernatural horror in favor of a more grounded and terrifying scenario. We can only imagine what it might be like to be menaced by ghosts, but imagining someone in our personal space with the intention of hurting us is a far more practical, relatable, realistic fear. In addition to critical acclaim, The Strangers has also garnered scholarly attention for its exploration of the banality of evil and the nature of human malevolence. Academics have drawn parallels between the film's antagonists and real-life perpetrators of violence, emphasizing the unsettling notion that such evil can manifest in seemingly ordinary individuals. There's more than a kernel of frightening truth here. Bertino has acknowledged that both the helter-skelter crimes of Charles Manson and the unsolved Ketty Cabin murders in 1981 influenced the film directly. Audience responses to The Strangers have been equally profound, with many citing it as a deeply unsettling and memorable cinematic experience. The film's ability to evoke fear while also prompting deeper reflections on human nature has contributed to its enduring impact. Moreover, The Strangers has influenced subsequent works in the horror genre, serving as a touchstone for filmmakers seeking to unsettle and challenge their audiences. Its impact can be seen in other films that explore similar themes, such as 2016's Hush. That film takes the idea and makes it its own by making the victim deaf. Titles like You're Next and Don't Breathe build on the home invasion film foundation, but manage to flip the script and take things in new and disturbing directions. Other films like Martyrs, Inside, and Barbarian have used the home invasion trope as a plot element before spiraling off into their own unique tales of terror. In the end, The Strangers stands as a powerful example of horror cinema's ability to subvert expectations and unsettle audiences. The film's portrayal of the banality of evil and its violation of the sanctity of the home challenges our perceptions of safety and security, leaving an indelible mark on anyone who watches. Its enduring impact on the horror genre speaks to its cultural significance and its ability to redefine traditional horror tropes, making it a touchstone for filmmakers seeking to upset and challenge their audiences. The Strangers remains a testament to the enduring power of horror cinema in provoking profound emotional and intellectual responses, solidifying its place as a seminal work in the genre. Looking for another deep dive into a great horror film? Then be sure to check out my video on Inferno. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll see you over there.